Join us for a driving review of the all-new Toyota Mirai. Let's go! A completely new platform for the Toyota Mirai, longer front hood and a sporty styling. Looks a little bit more like the Toyota Camry, doesn't it? Force blue is the color for today. Yes, a true Thomas blue. I just love that vehicle color. And then headlamps start from LED as standard, and you can also upgrade them a little bit. Then a strong lower part here, also chrome contrast. The length is at 4 meters 97, 16 foot 3 or 196 inches. And this one here is an advanced trim level in Europe, or limited it would be in the US, so high trim. Also then with the kick-ass 20-inch turbine wheels in black. Really huge, massive style. Fuel cell badge right here, and then you can see this new generation here, a little bit longer wheelbase definitely, and you can see here this floating line, really stretched coupe, sporty like, longer front hood, so it's not this crossover style anymore. It's more like a premium luxury sedan style, and I think design wise, I mean, it's really a good evolution. And the new rear here with an impressive light structure goes all the way around the vehicle. Also very slim, beautiful modern design. Also nice integration of this integrated wing right there in the lower part. I think these are not these fake exhaust pipes. No, I wouldn't say so. Not a fake exhaust graphic. From distance, maybe somewhat. Yeah, but you know, the cool thing, of course, about these fuel cell vehicles is the only thing that comes underneath out of the car is actually water. That's the secret. You can theoretically drink it also, but it's really not recommended, and especially not in high amounts. So in comparison to the previous generation, a really massive increase in range, so plus 1/3 in range. And here, that's what we have under the hood of the, what you can see from technology. 182 horsepower and 9.2 seconds is the acceleration figure, 0 to 1 kilometers or 0 to 62 miles an hour. So it's not too fast, but definitely enough, I would say. And you, by the way, need a 1.2 kilowatt hour buffer battery. It is somewhat still an electric vehicle, but not battery electric. Fuel cell and then electric motor to drive the vehicle. And now in this generation, rear-wheel drive. This is the car key, open and close right there, and then of course also with keyless entry and door closing sound. Yeah, not too impressive, but also not bad at all. Then we have a leatherette cover from the inside of the doors. Here also all soft touch materials, but also a lot of high gloss piano lacquer use. Then see here the steering wheel, quite compact size. And then the seats in this case here. This is a high-grade leatherette. Softex they call it. Really soft and plush. It would be an executive trim in Germany or EU and an XLE trim in the US. And you can also get these Softex seats here with a perforated structure in the US for more ventilation, even in heating and ventilation, both possible. And in Europe, you can also get a pure fabric seat in the base trim. Then let's get inside, see about the seating comfort, and indeed, the seats are very soft and plush, good seating comfort, and you really get a high-class premium executive sedan feeling. However, headroom, have the seat in lowest position. This here, the vehicle without the panoramic roof. We also have one with panoramic roof. Gets quite close here already without the panoramic roof, but that's okay. 1m86 or 6'1". So if you're very tall, leave out the panoramic roof, that's for sure. Now to the interior overview. It looks quite impressive here with a swinging design, but then a lot of black piano lacquer use once again. The shifting lever is right here. P, and then like this drive mode, like this reverse. Now you can also see the rear view camera, which is quite large indeed in this 12.3-inch screen. So this is this widescreen format. Also fake drone view from above, helping lines adapt accordingly. So more details to that screen. Let's first finish the overview right here. So soft touch here on the top part, steering wheel compact size, right side cruise control, left side to control the digital instruments. Soon also more details to that. There's an optional head-up display as well. You can see here this unit, left and right here with the H2O button and so on. And more towards the middle part here, you still have a manual climate unit, so you can also control it while driving, and heated seats also with an auto function. It goes on automatically at certain temperature, and also cool seat is in the higher trims available. In the US market, you also get the ventilated seats with the Softex leatherette. Here in Europe, in Germany, you only get it with a leather option, which is sadly not available for this supposed to be more sustainable vehicle. But you can get, as I said earlier, enough non-animal seatings. And now to the rest of that screen, or here in detail, you have some hotkeys in the lower part, like for the main menu or for accessing the GPS map. And yeah, that's really super old school design and so on. Volume is also here. Okay, you can also individualize your home screen. That's possible, by the way. The base menu structure looks like this. So yeah, that looks like from the 90s. Apple CarPlay at least available, or Android Auto. That is standard, and most of the time probably you will use that then, because that's then the rather, the easier system. And here we have the JBL sound system, which is giving us some very decent sound. You see the speakers all over the place in the front as well. So yeah, that's quite fancy. You can change something here in the digital instruments, but not too much. So does the job. You have the digital speed. That's the most important thing. And of course the rest of the range at the moment, 415 kilometers left. It's not totally full, this vehicle at the moment. But overall, why not? Now to the rear, you have a longer wheelbase than before. So you have more legroom, but you already see, even though you have more legroom now, it's not that it's really sufficient for tall people. I can already see that right here. By the way, optional JBL sound system right here. Then also the rear inside of the door, soft touch. This car has a more a Lexus atmosphere, definitely, as we said earlier. Then let's get inside here, and it's really not thought out to be usable for 4 tall adults, so I have to squeeze myself in here. Legroom is the problem, and headroom is, in the one without the panoramic roof, somewhat possible in the rear. Now to the trunk area, the button here to open it is more placed on the right side. And then here we go. So I put some sample luggage in. Also backpack fits in a vertical way. That's no problem. It is a sedan opening. So, a fastback opening would have been cool, definitely, I think. And then here we go. So this one here you can also lift up, but there's no more space underneath. And the length here is almost 80 centimeters, a little bit less. The width, this part here is 1 meter, here then like 1.30 meters or something, but here you're more limited. Let's see the front part, because the front part is quite substantial. Yeah, it's a little bit more than 1.40 meters even, but the problem is you cannot fold the seats, so that's all you've got. So somewhat of a compromise with this vehicle. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the Toyota Mirai here in the 2nd generation. Well, price is lower, range is higher, rear-wheel drive, more fun, longer vehicle, more an executive drive for sure. So very interesting improvements. And first of all, first impression is a very relaxing ride, a silent ride of course. You have the electric motor, and since they have reorganized the architecture, new platform, better dampening, also where the fuel cell is placed and where the hydrogen tanks are being placed and so on, you basically hear nothing anymore, so there's no sound, anything, anywhere. And that's of course a relaxing thing to do. It's a good acceleration just here in the city and so on. If you lift the throttle, there is not much recuperation, and you only have a small buffer battery, so recuperation is not like the main focus here like we have with the battery electric vehicles. So as I said, the buffer battery just very small, 1.2 kilowatt hours. It doesn't need to be super sporty as for the acceleration. The car looks really sporty, but it's more this fun and relaxed drive it is, so it's super silent in here, not only from the things you don't hear, but also just like from the dampening, the whole insulation of the cabin. It more feels like you would be driving one of the big Lexus luxury sedans and so on. And of course, they also share technology inside the corporation and so on. The shifting lever here, why not? If you put it once to D, sure, you can use that. There is also here this BR mode. You can also test that. So a D of throttle, more rolling. In the BR mode, let's see if they're, just once again, D, get off throttle, nothing. In the BR mode, there's maybe a little bit more recuperation, but not that it would make like a massive difference. So we get on the motorway now, that we can also show you if there's still something, left of an acceleration and so on. 9.2 seconds is the acceleration figure, but so far I feel that the car is quite quick and definitely quick enough. It's not a performance vehicle, but let's see when I get on the motorway. Steering wheel, it's actually very good in the steering, no dead zone area, fine feeling for that, so a nice steering setup, and this feels quite cool here also in the corner. See also getting towards the other vehicle in front of us. And also if I do a little bit of slalom here left and right, 50-50 balance, so for the weight balance, and it really feels very sporty. 20-inch wheels on this case here, but the suspension is still very comfortable. If you want more comfort, go for the smaller wheels, no problem. So let's drop back a little bit. We can do some more acceleration. And here, let's go from 70 kilometers an hour to, let's go. That's 130 kilometers an hour, like 80 miles an hour. It's not explosive, not super fast, but definitely enough, Again, as I said, cheaper in this new generation, increased range, that's definitely very important. Acceleration, you have to know that it's not super fast, and if you are at speed already here, for example, 116 kilometers an hour, when we accelerate out now, 130, 150, so that takes a while. However, if we are at higher speeds, the car stays really stable. As for suspension, the suspension is a nice compromise between sportiness and comfort. Noise insulation is now, now wind noise is picking up at about 160 kilometers an hour, but still reasonably silent. So this is no problem at all. And again, the driving dynamics also increased in this new generation, so that they went away from this crossover approach and then approach to say it's like a really special vehicle. It's something different to more like a luxury sedan style. I think it's really good. Exterior wise, this has done, a very good job to the car. So it looks really, really fancy now. And driving wise, I just would say only positive impressions. Silent, could be a little bit more powerful. That's different to the most of the electric vehicles. That would be the competitors to this one here. So the EV, battery electric competitors would be definitely more powerful in the acceleration. It's just, range-wise, of course, if you can refuel that here at the H2 station, this will be less of a problem then, maybe, but it really depends on. So to me, the key question is really which infrastructure do you have, and then you can decide, which vehicle to go for. But just driving-wise, really cool. And when we know that only water comes out of the exhaust, then the rear, definitely a nice feeling. And now we try to fuel up. I have this charging card here. So let's see. We remove this one here, put the piston, and then start here. So completely fueling up would take a couple of minutes just, and would just cost about like a little bit less than 50 euros. So you can really compare it, at least in Germany. The price can be compared to fueling up your normal fuel car. Theoretically, you can also get hydrogen as a waste product, for example, from oil refining or from plastic production. So that could be one use case. And on the other hand, where can you else get it? Well, you can use it, for example, when you have some energy left from production. For example, windmills are turning and they produce more energy than you could actually use in the grid currently. You could save it then, use it for electrolysis, and then save it as hydrogen. This could be another use case. So the hydrogen makes sense when you have some energy left somewhere. And the question is, where does it happen and when does it happen? And then it could make sense because you can also transport it. So, and in some cases, even better than just, putting the energy in batteries. So it really depends on the use case and once again on the infrastructure. If you have a fuel station like this here just close by. And then to our conclusion for today with the all-new Toyota Mirai Force Blue, the color name for this Thomas Blue color. Really my favorite. Long hood now, the design so sporty, so elegant, so definitely a great upgrade in design. As you have the increased wheelbase, you also have now more space in the rear. However, the packaging, that's an advantage for the battery electric vehicles because there the packaging is better. Here a long vehicle and still not too much space in the rear and also not such a huge trunk and you cannot load the thing through. Interior build quality is really good and you also have several options to go animal free as for the seating and still a great quality. The software is outdated in the infotainment system, so that could be better, but in most cases you would use the Apple CarPlay or the Android Auto. Driving wise, it feels basically the same as you use a battery electric vehicle. Not so powerful, but powerful enough, especially from get-go. So just from zero, you have a really fast acceleration. Just in the higher speed areas, it gets a little bit slower. Very good as for noise insulation, nice steering feel. So overall, a very nice cruising feeling and sporty enough also because of the good weight distribution. If the technology makes sense, is really a question of infrastructure. Are, for example, the states or is the industry more investing in these fuel stations? Can it be a better infrastructure? And also, do we have enough waste hydrogen from other industry processes? Do we have enough hydrogen production, maybe from too much renewable energy production at some point? This could be a nice use case to have it as a buffer to save some of the energy and then use it in the vehicles once again. At the moment, it's basically open which technology will prevail. There are different scenarios. Maybe also that the fuel cell will not be used for the passenger vehicles, but more for transport, maybe even for planes or something. This could also be something. Driving-wise, just for the customer, this is a very pleasant and good experience. And again, if I would be close to some of these stations, this could be one alternative to building up the electric charging infrastructure, or maybe something will take place on a parallel scale. We'll have to see. Pricing-wise, this dropped about 15,000 euros now in the new generation, so definitely a better deal right now. And depending on the trim level, 50, 60k in euros or dollars, this could then be a deal for this new Toyota Mirai. So, thank you so much for tuning in today. Leave us your comments to the technology in general, of course, to this concise car, the second generation of the Mirai. See you in the comments. See you next time.